This video is going to look at how Stalin defeats the left. So, having begun to establish power, Stalin quickly began to outmaneuver his opponents, and he starts with the left wing. Leon Trotsky was his first target, as he was Stalin's rival for power. The two had always disliked one another, and Trotsky fell into a trap of his own making. He starts off by criticising party bureaucracy. He suggests that there's too many people in the Communist Party being given jobs with too much power. This is really aimed at Stalin and Stalin's bureaucratisation of the party and how much control he has from it. He also criticised the dangerous centralisation of power in the USSR. Again, this aimed at Stalin and Stalin's supporters. These criticisms were deeply unpopular with many in the party who had benefited from those positions of power that Trotsky's talking about. To counter this criticism, Stalin strategically joined forces with Zinoviev and Kamenev against Trotsky. Stalin then accused Trotsky of factionalism. This is causing disunity in the party through his criticisms of the bureaucracy. And factionalism, just remember, had been banned by Lenin, and this is really helpful in isolating Trotsky. Next, Stalin began attacking Trotsky on his views on permanent revolution. Remember, Trotsky believes that the revolution, Russia, and communism will only survive if world revolution spread globally. Stalin, however, disagreed. Stalin wants socialism in one country. He believed in creating the communist state at home through rapid economic expansion. And people in Russia, the vast majority of them agree with Stalin. They were sick of years of war. Going all the way back to 1914, they had enough of war. They were not in the mood for global revolution. So Trotsky was further isolated. The final way Stalin outmaneuvered Trotsky was over the future of the NEP, the new economic policy. The new economic policy had divided the party since it was introduced. It was popular, but it also angered many in the party as it clearly reintroduced elements of capitalism, and it created wealthier groups such as the netmen and kulaks. So Kamenev, Zinoviev and Trotsky joined forces. They joined forces into what's called the United Opposition. They see the NEP as a betrayal of the revolution, introducing elements of capitalism and newly rich netmen and kulaks. Trotsky pointed out that Lenin had only wanted the NEP as a temporary solution, and therefore it had to end, in his opinion. However, the United Opposition were challenged by the right opposition. The right opposition believed that the NEP, while not ideal, was a practical solution for Russia at that time, for the USSR at this time. So it's the right policy for this point in time. So you've got Bukharin, Rykov and Tomsky, and they argue, look, you know what, the NEP is providing economic growth, it's popular, and it was creating enough food, and that's the first time in a long time that these things were actually happening. Stalin very strategically stayed out of it. He stays neutral. United Opposition were defeated at a 1926 Central Committee meeting. They were even banned from speaking and were forced to work in secret. It is now that Stalin plays his hand. He takes a stand at this point. With United Opposition defeated, Stalin now accused them of factionalism. They were expelled from the Politburo. Zinoviev and Kamenev were only allowed to remain in the party if they renounced their views. And Trotsky was exiled, and way in 1940 he was murdered, very famously in Mexico, with an ice pick on Stalin's orders. Stalin had defeated the left. Now, what about the right? Many thanks for watching.